In the 1970s, Dr. Norman Borlaug was able to take the initiatives he had utilized in Mexico and implement them in Asia by introducing crop varieties that were engineered to be high-yielding, as well as synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. Dr. Borlaug essentially ended food insecurity in Asia. This has come to be known as the Green Revolution. However, while mass starvation in Asia appears to be a thing of the past, food insecurity in Africa is still a very real problem. So the first question that must be asked is, why didn't the Green Revolution take hold in Africa?
Asia and Africa are different geographically, which means in terms of climate, if you look at Africa, you will discover that we have a wide variability, okay, in climatic regions. Now, besides that, we are talking of crops that really support the Green Revolution. You'll be talking about rice, you'll be talking about wheat. Now, in Africa, the staples that we have are quite diverse. In some places, you're talking about cassava as the main staple. In some other places, it will be maize. In another region, it will be cowpea, it will be another crop. But you're working on several other staples, millets, sorghum, that constitute different staples in different environments. If you talk about our soils, for instance, you had much wider variability or variations in the soils that you have. You probably have more homogeneous soils, okay, in Asia than you have in Africa.
Since the time of the original Green Revolution in the 1970s, there have been non-government organizations, or NGOs, that have attempted to end food insecurity throughout Africa. However, it can be argued that none have been successful. One theory as to why this is the case involves the concept of reagency. Reagency is the theory that when resources such as knowledge, money, or technology changes hands from donors in a developed nation to individuals or organizations in a developing nation, those resources will be utilized by the recipient in ways that are not always consistent with the ideals of the donor agency.
We went to Wale Wale to work with the farmers, and we have several options: to use fertilizers or to use cover crops and organic residues for soil fertility management. And one community in particular wanted only organic residues and cover crops. They don't want fertilizer. And then we asked why. They said fertilizer destroyed their soils. There are a few more communities also who think that fertilizers are bad. I've been in meetings where we've invited farmers, and then somebody will get up and said, fertilizer is the one destroying our soils. Our soils used not to be like this. But fertilizer, because we started applying the fertilizers, they started destroying our soils. Again, this is misinformation from some of our development partners, especially the NGOs who are interested in organic farming, who are giving fertilizer a bad name.
However, there is a flip side to the reagency coin. Sometimes the individuals or organizations within the developing nation know more than the donors in the developed nation when it comes to the circumstances in the region.
A credit officer must have the knowledge of the crop growth, farmers' attitude, and the political background. Most of the time I spent in the bush, in the villages. And we don't have a system where the credit officer has to sit down in the office. They have to be with the farmers. Farming is a natural phenomenon, while the banking institutions are established without natural phenomena. They are working on the trading principles, and the farming is done on natural basis. If the good rain is there, then the farmer will get better yield. If the rain is dwindling, then a proper management issues comes inside to cope up with the dwindling situations. This is learning lesson we have to learn from the farmers. If they do not need cash, why we are giving them cash? Farmers will never sell anything which they have produced it unless they need cash to transact cash businesses. If they can do their business in kind form, they will prefer it and they will like it.
How will AGRA, the Alliance for the Green Revolution in Africa, succeed where other programs have failed?
AGRA's approach follows the value chain. Okay. Our investments, we have investments all across the entire value chain. The first program at AGRA was the program for Africa Seed Systems. That program, the main objective is to make available improved seeds and other inputs to smallholder farmers. We have investment in training new crop of breeders. And we have investment in seed production, as well, with support to start-up seed companies all over across Africa. And then we have investment in agro-dealer development, which are people who try to bridge the gap between the seed producers or other input businesses in the cities and smallholder farmers that is located in rural areas. Agro-dealers are small, medium enterprise who are involved in the input trade. AGRA also has investment in soils, which is what we call the soil health program. We're also looking at availability of fertilizer, access, affordability of fertilizers to smallholder farmers. Now we move from there to AGRA's investment in market access, because we recognize that you may improve productivity, but those marketable surpluses have got to reach the markets. We have investment in policy. This involves working very closely with national government. So if you look at what I have said now, you will see that AGRA's work comes right across the entire value chain.
Towards the end of our trip to Ghana, we were given the privilege of filming a radio broadcast where scientists and politicians offered advice to farmers on not only how to improve soil fertility and crop yield, but also how farmers could benefit from government subsidies when they went to buy fertilizers and pesticides. All was going well, and then, at the end of the broadcast, when the show started taking calls from listeners, I noticed a problem.
Sell fertilizer.
Hello, good afternoon. Oh, we don't understand. Okay, if you wouldn't mind speaking English, because I don't know whether anybody can interpret Kusal on my program. Yes, instead.
Yeah, so
It appears that the different languages spoken in Ghana will be one hurdle the members of AGRA will have to overcome. Dr. Fusu already related problems he encountered due to the modern farming, organic farming debate. As we interviewed other scientists, they in turn reiterated problems they were having in areas of funding, government policy, and farmer adaptation. Will the AGRA project overcome these obstacles? Will AGRA be able to demonstrate some perceivable measure of success? We will attempt to answer these questions over the next few years as we continue to follow the project.